We're a video game podcast, everyone.
Video games.
Yes, video games. Are we live? We've been live this whole time.
This is episode 086 of Podcast Gameoverse. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined by my dude Rick.
What is up, everyone? Those of you just tuning in, we're a video game podcast. Those of you who have been listening to me for the past like 10, 15 minutes, or watching us on YouTube and watching the raw file, can hear my opinion on food and factory farming for the past like 10, 15 minutes. Super interesting. Go check it out if you have the chance, if you're not watching the raw video. But we are a video game podcast. We do talk about video games, and we have quite a bit of news to go over. Kind of a slow week, but still a couple topics came up that I'd love to talk about. But first, do we have an intro? There's no intro this week?
That was the intro. That was it. I just played it.
Oh, the music?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
That was it. So,
all right, cool. Well, I didn't hear the music, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I didn't hear it, but oh well. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
But we got a bunch of stuff to go over. You know, it's Thanksgiving weekend. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates it. Let's start how we start every week. Wasabi, tell the people what you've been playing, man.
Nothing. I got nothing. No, actually, I played a little bit. I played very little of that Forza Horizon 5.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to vent about this a little bit because
okay.
I don't really understand where look, I want to put up the open critic page of this game. All right, it's sitting at a 92% aggregate rating. 100% critics recommend it's a mighty game. All right, now I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's a bad game. Right? It's not even close to a bad game, but it is like incredible how much it adheres to the formula. Man, this game is so formulaic. I think I would be not doing my job if I criticize games like Pokemon for just releasing the same game over and over again, and not saying that with a game that is also doing the same fucking thing, which is releasing the same exact game over and over again, not addressing any of the issues that the previous games have, just releasing the same game. But no, we're in Mexico now. It's the same thing. That's all I got for that. But no, it's like this game is like, it's not bad. It's just the way it starts with if you're gonna make a driving game, let's just start there. You're making a driving game, okay? If you're going to put people in your driving game and make the people of huge focal point of your driving game, so much so that they have their own cutscenes, which are completely unskippable, still completely unskippable cutscenes featuring these people that look terrible. They all look terrible, animate terribly. Then either just don't do it, or put more effort into the people that are there, because the people still look terrible and the cutscenes are completely unskippable, so you have to look at them. And I think it's one of the worst things about this game is just the forced cutscenes, the hand holding, the tutorializing that you just can never skip. And every single one of these games starts the same way, with this big, spectacular, pizzazz fucking, oh shit, look at this, it's racing, it's so cool, look at how over the top it is. Oh shit, you're racing a plane, are you gonna beat it? Oh shit, it's close, it's so close. Every single one of these games does that over and over again, and it's never good. It's never exciting, because you already know that it's happening, it's gonna happen. And they never, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. It looks like it's just me because everyone fucking loves this game. And I played like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, dude, let me just skip the fucking cutscenes. So I don't have to look at these terrible character. There's like a character creator in it, which there was in the last game too. Same exact fucking faces, same exact fucking models, same exact everything. They didn't change anything about the character creator. It's all just shitty fucking shit.
So would you say like the only real difference then is like the new the Mexico setting is
The
the only
only
like
difference is
different?
Mexico, and that it like looks better. It runs extremely well. It has ray
Yeah.
tracing. I was able to play it with ultra ray tracing somehow. I only have a 3060 in here. It's not really made for 4K. It's not really made for like ultra ray tracing, but it was doing it like surprisingly well.
So
Um,
would you feel better if this wasn't like Forza Horizon 5 or like if it was like a Forza Horizon 4 like expansion just
it should
added the
have been an
Mexico setting?
expansion. It could have been
Yeah.
just an expansion. It was like, hey, here's Mexico. Like that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Actually, is just release Forza Horizon Infinite and just have and then release all their content expanding on that is what they should do because they're just releasing the same exact game over and over. I don't understand like why they have to do it this way. Especially since it's a racing game, but they're spending so much emphasis on the people, and they all look terrible. I don't have any. I didn't record any. I didn't stream any of it. It was just I was just like trying to check it out just to see, and I was like, I can't believe they're just doing this again to the same
Yeah.
degree that they did it. Because if we talk about a racing game that I love, one of my favorite games of all time, Burnout Paradise, they don't make any. There's no question about what that game is about. That is a racing game straight the fuck up. And that's all you do. There's no people in that game. You can't get out the car. If you pan the camera around and look at through the windshield, there's no human sitting behind the car ever. They added bikes to the game, so you have a human when you're on like a motorcycle. But other than that, there's no people in that game. It's just straight up driving. Um, it was the same like downfall with like Ubisoft put out The Crew, and like the game was okay, but it's like there were people in that game, and it's like you don't give a fuck about the people or the story. Just let me race. Just let me drive. Just let me do that shit. But like Forza has this attitude where it's gotta stop you every time you try to do something and try to explain like, oh, you get fast travel if you smash into these billboards and it'll be free or it'll be cheaper. Or oh, you got some XP. You want to spin the wheel and see what the fuck you got? It's just so. Just let me drive. Just let me drive, man. Like I don't know. It's like in its own. If you were looking at this game in a vacuum and it was just Forza Horizon 5, oh, it'd be phenomenal. But I don't think that's how. That's not how I look at anything. I can't just isolate the thing to just that and then just review it based on its merits alone. Like I have to look at what the like contemporaries are doing or what it did on it itself and its like previous offerings. And like if you're comparing it to what it's been doing, these games have been doing the same exact thing for I don't know, like a decade. They just been the same. I don't understand the same way like Pokemon's just been the same. Like I just don't understand how everyone is just fine with with what it's doing. I don't really I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't play racing games, so I've never seen them. I mean, they all look the same to me, if I'm being honest.
But the thing
I've never
okay,
played any games really.
you don't play racing games, but you should because well, there's a few you should play. Burnout Paradise, you should play that because that's
Yeah, you
like
told me Burnout Paradise is good
it's
on my list.
the racing game isn't that's not like it's not the main course. Like the racing isn't the main course. It's what you do with the racing. It's almost like saying I don't play first person shooters, but the first person shooter is not that's just the form factor that it's in. The actual gameplay is something else entirely. Like you could have a first person shooter where all you do is like run up to people and like hug them, or you know, and that'd be like a completely different game. That's what like Burnout is to me. Like Burnout is like it's a deathmatch game where everyone's just the car is the weapon. Uh, but I don't know. But this game, but Forza is more like it's more like a scenic. It's just like have fun game where the car is just the car. You're in a car instead of on foot, like running around. I don't know. It's like the driving is really good when they let you drive. It's good, but there's just so much other shit that they want you to do and cutscenes that you have to watch and can't skip. Tutorials that you're like, I already know this. I've played a video game before, guys. I know how an engine works in a car, or you know, yeah, right trigger, left trigger. I get it. It's not more complicated than that. That's all you need to know. Right trigger, left trigger. It's yeah. I don't. It's okay. It's on Game Pass, so you know you can download it and try it out for yourself. But I just don't like. I think I'm done with these games unless they really have a Breath of the Wild style shift in the way they're made. Because I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person in the world who feels like this. Because 100% of critics recommend Forza Horizon 5. So
Yeah, it's getting. I'm looking at reviews. It's like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 90 out of
yeah.
100. Like, yeah, it's getting really good reviews, despite your grievances with it.
In isolation, it's a
Um,
10 out of 10. But this is
yeah,
not the
but
first game they've
comparison
ever
to like
made.
4, but compared to like as an upgrade from 4, just so would you recommend to just play for Horizon 4?
Well, play whatever's out. Play, you know, play 5 if you haven't played any of them. But
Yeah.
if you like, if you played the hell out of 4, well, if you played, see, here's the thing, because if you love Forza Horizon already, then you're probably gonna love this anyway. Because I was already on the fence
Oh,
with
yeah.
Horizon
Like,
4. Horizon 4 was like the
yeah.
last straw for me. It was like I'm gonna play this just because it's fun, but I really don't like this, and this. So when they put this one out and they'd have not addressed this, and this at all, then I'm like, okay, you guys are just like, what are we doing? You just don't, you don't, there's flaws here, but you're not acknowledging any of them. You're just copy pasting everything is what it seems like, and just putting it in a new setting. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Frustrating.
I loaded it up the other day just to see just to check it out. It's because dude, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game
So,
Pass, so there's no reason not to check it out.
but I was just baffled at just how nothing was improved in terms of the actual presentation of the game, or just something as simple
Hey,
as skipping the cutscenes. I just want to be able to skip the cutscenes. Logical Robot in the chat said, "Epic ruining the games industry one step at a time." Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I
oh, yeah.
I put up a poll on the YouTube asking, and that's probably where Logical Robot saw. I put up a poll on the YouTube asking if you hate Epic Games, and I actually didn't see. Let's see the results of that. I already put it up yesterday. I didn't. I don't expect many votes on it yet, but you never know. Okay, it's 100%. Uh, well, do you hate Epic Games? There's 100% no. So, no, let's talk about it. I think we can go off at 10. Guys, this is going to be a weird show because there's like nothing to talk about. Nothing happened this week, so
All right, let's go into it then.
yeah. Here's my feeling on Epic Games. I think I think they're doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Logical Robot saying just like you can. He's in the chat at gameoverse.com/twitch. And he says, I do not partake in their free donkey carrot practices, and genuinely the impact their store had on my son's PC, I had to completely remove it. Once I did this, PC went back to normal. Okay, Logical Robot. I'm not gonna say one way or the other what happened with your PC, but I don't think it can mess up a PC just having their launcher installed. I don't think I'm gonna say maybe your son was doing something else that messed up the PC. So I don't think I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here and just say that I don't think because a lot of people have the Epic Store installed and like Fortnite and all that stuff. I don't think. But here's my feeling of Epic. I think they're doing a lot of good for not just even PC, but like gaming in general. They're they're
Right.
funding a lot of game development right now.
Yeah.
They're stirring a lot of activity in the games industry that wouldn't.
Funding
Uh,
a lot of games right now. They're stirring a lot of activity. Not just that, but they're taking a lot of new practices with their game store too, like offering devs a bigger cut when they when they sell their game on Epic than what
yeah,
Steam's offering right now. Like you could argue that like, oh, they're trying to do it to gain favor. Well, yeah, and it's working for me at least. um, that's why I don't get bad, like, especially early on with Epic when a bunch of games were Epic exclusive. I wasn't upset about it that these small indie devs were able to get an exclusivity deal with Epic and make guaranteed money instead of having to wait for the sales to come in if they just sold it on Steam. Um, it's really cool to see that. And granted, there's a lot of functions the Epic Store doesn't have that Steam does. I know a lot of people want something similar to Steam Workshop on Epic
yeah,
that isn't there yet, or like community created stuff that isn't there yet. But they're touching things at its core, which is gaming and game development, and I like that. The community will come in later, but I like where they're starting, at least so far. I do.
yeah. I feel like the exclusive thing really rode people the wrong way at first,
Yeah,
I guess. See, the thing is, I don't know what people's actual grievances are with
yeah,
Epic,
me neither.
other than they like to. I think one common thing they like to say is like China, I guess. But if that's your thing, you don't look at who's like in the pocket of China. I mean, they've everything. Okay,
Yeah,
like if you really dig into it, China's in everyone's pocket. So I don't like if that's your thing, don't you should have other problems with everything else you use. Logical says Epic offer a minimum cut to developer to cover X amount of sales, but the games do not sell on Epic Store. Some little as 1%. People use the store for two things, primarily free games and Fortnite. The store loses hundreds of millions. That you might have a point with, but I don't think they need to well, I don't want to say they need to, but whatever. I think devs know that going in. Yeah, they have to know, at least I think that the Leo's in chat. What's up, Leo? I think they have to know they because they're making the conscious decision because so many people hate Epic that you have to be having the back of your mind like, okay, if I put my game on Epic, it's gonna be a smirch. It's gonna be a mark on this game like forever. So there's
yeah.
gonna be a certain amount of people who just hate us because we went with Epic. But they have to. I'm assuming they're considering the pay that Epic's gonna give them to recuperate some of the loss in sales, right? So I'm assuming not. I don't know the numbers on the stuff actually, but
So every game got a different. It depends on what we're talking. If we're talking about exclusivity. every game that was made exclusive to Epic were approached by Epic, at least most of them were approached by Epic and given a flat fee. Like, hey, we'll give you X amount of money to make a game exclusive on our store for
Yeah.
a year or
And
something.
those numbers have come out too.
Yeah. A lot of them have come out. I mean, look at your favorite game, Outer Wild. That was exclusive to the Epic Store for the first year, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And now it was on Steam a year later, and the game's still doing great. You know, it's got a
Yeah.
ton of Game of the Year awards.
And
It's
actually,
got a new expansion coming
a lot of
out.
people don't
Like,
know this. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of the games that you download through the Epic Store are totally DRM free. Like once you buy it, you're free to do whatever you want with it. Without like you don't need the launcher at all. You just buy it, install it, and then you can copy it to whatever other computers you have, and like do whatever you want with it without any DRM.
yeah, and that's like another cool thing I like. And Logical Robot raised a good point. His issue with the Epic Store comes down to the lambasting Steam as a monopoly, while systematically trying to make their own store a monopoly through exclusives. And I'll give you credit there. Like, it is kind of hypocritical to sit here and say that Steam's this monopoly and then make their games exclusive on Epic. And I'll try to garner some more attention to them. But I'll argue that, like, off having this option here to get things started. I mean, Epic wouldn't be doing that; they didn't need to. Is what I would argue. And Steam still sees a ton of sales, and any developer who wants to publish a game, I think the only option right now is Steam, Epic, or if it's a small game, GitHub IO. They're the only options you really have, and the most monetarily advantageous one's going to be Steam, unless Epic approaches you for exclusivity.
Yeah.
Um, I look at it as a way to offer some competition. Because I mean, look at Xbox. The Microsoft Store has a ton of, well, they had a ton of exclusives, but now they're combining everything with Steam. They're trying to upload some more of their stuff on Steam. It's not so much for problem anymore, but I feel like Epic's getting too much shit, especially since most games that you buy on Steam need a launcher for another company anyway. I mean, if you bought Mass Effect before the Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, I don't think you could buy the second or third Mass Effect game on Steam, right? Until the Legendary Edition came out.
Yeah, well, it was EA. It
Leo
was like all of
Craftball,
EA's games. Well, not all of
yeah,
them, but
Leo
a lot of
Craftball.
them.
Even some games you could buy on Steam, you still needed a launcher. I mean, look at Uplay. I think you still need a Uplay launcher to play Watch Dogs 2, even if you bought it on Steam, right? Like, and
Yeah.
Logical and Leo did bring up GOG, so yeah, GOG is another great example.
You,
But if we
you
look at the numbers of what Steam's pulling versus what GOG is pulling, what Epic's pulling, I don't know. I'm the kind of person who likes competition, and I don't see a problem with the Epic Games launcher to do that. To be honest, like I'm used to needing other launchers to play other games anyway, so it's not
yeah.
that big a gripe, at least for me. And I like the fact that Epic is trying to do some good. I have their publishing page pulled up right now, and they have a bunch of cool options. An 88% revenue to 12 revenue split versus Steam was like what, like 60, 70, I think was the cut developers would get. Um, there's
Here's my
plus yeah,
you Logical brought up the Epic Online services, and that's actually one of our topics.
yeah,
I'm gonna we can transition into that real quick because there's not
yeah,
I don't have much to say about it other than I think it's a good idea. See, here's the thing. So people just don't if it's you just don't want to use a different account, but I mean that's already like the thing about PC games is that's kind of the norm now is having a bunch, having your Uplay account, then having your EA account, and having all these different accounts that you have to, and different launchers. I got my Rockstar launcher over here. At least on PC, that's kind of a thing we have to deal with, right? Yeah, multiple launchers. I haven't played any Epic games on Steam, so I don't I'm not sure I've run into. The only one that I know of is Rocket League. I know they bought Rocket League. I don't know if they've added their stuff into it yet, but with their Epic Online Services thing that they just announced, I don't know if this is a yes, but you can link all to all launchers in GOG. I just don't know why it's a. I just don't know why when Epic does it, why is it a problem now?
Exactly. Like that's what I don't understand either. Like
Because
I've
I
been
don't
good
think
with
they
multiple launchers forever, so I don't see what the problem is that like Epic has their own thing going.
I don't think they force you to log into their stuff though. If you're because so they're we're looking at the Epic Online. They put out this video just like introducing, and this is more for developers really, just saying like, hey devs, if you're making like a game and you need some servers or you need to add some like an achievement system, we're gonna give you all this APIs for free. By the way, they're giving devs this stuff for free to just integrate the Epic stuff into their games. Which again, I think that's a totally good guy move from Epic
Yeah, yeah,
to
I agree.
say, um, because I think if you were to do that, I think Steam obviously does this as well, but they're not saying you have to launch on Epic. They're not saying you have to launch on Steam or anything. They're just saying, hey, if you want to add like some a lobby system to your game, you can hook into our game services, and we'll give you all this stuff for free. You guys are forgetting Epic are buying up developers, and therefore games that were once on Steam, then directly tied to those. Um, they're buying developers, but everyone's buying developers though. I
Yeah,
think
dude.
there's gonna be like three. There's gonna be three. There's gonna be three companies making games. It's gonna be Microsoft. It's gonna be Sony, and it's gonna be Epic.
Yeah.
Raising in-game microtransaction prices by a huge amount. Um, and
Where
the
did you hear
only
about that? Wait, when did that happen? I didn't hear about microtransaction stuff. Wasn't there like a big lawsuit like trying to keep microtransactions lower? Like that's what happened with Apple, right?
publishing, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but they haven't like bought a lot of. They're funding development for a lot of companies, but straight up buying developers, I only know that they bought like recently.
Harmonics.
They just bought Harmonix, which is another topic here. And they bought who they get before that? Psyonix. They bought Rocket League.
Riot too, didn't they?
No. They do not have Riot money. They do not have Riot money. Well, I mean, maybe they do, but Riot is not. They're not selling. No, I think it was just Psyonix and Harmonix, which are getting all the X's, man. But
Exactly.
like
And if we talk about and like you brought up, buying out developers
Fall Guys, that's
and
right. That's
funding
right.
games are two different things. And I feel like this is a problem that's not really a problem. It's
I
a
think
standard
people
industry
see it
practice.
as a problem because they think that, oh no, if Microsoft buys Bethesda, then I'm not going to get the next Fallout game. But which that's kind of happening. That's kind of happening, but like not. They said Starfield is going to be not on PlayStation, which I feel ya. I feel ya.
Yeah,
But
I feel you too.
there's plenty of PlayStation games that you're not going to see on Xbox that
Exactly. And no one
got
complains about that. Like,
um and I would, if they did it with Fallout, I would have a bigger problem than like a completely new franchise that Starfield is going to be.
yeah.
Um, we'd have to see about that. They really haven't said any way with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's too early to tell if it's going to be a problem yet, but Epic has kind of been like, kind of reasonable so far.
Yeah,
The only thing they ask is like, hey, we're going to publish your game and give you this money. Just make it exclusive on our store for like a year,
Yeah.
and like that's it. Like look at like even right now, like another thing I want to get into, like Neo 2 was exclusive on Epic Store for the first year, and then it came out on Steam, and that's where I ended up buying it. I just bought Neo 2 on Steam during the Steam Autumn sale, like this
Yeah.
morning.
They're funding a lot of
So
games that they're funding a lot of
yeah,
games that have questionable futures. Like a lot of games they fund, they probably wouldn't get made otherwise. Like they're funding they're totally funding the next Remedy game
yeah,
uh completely. Like they pretty much said, "Hey, whatever budget you need, we're going to fund it for you. So go wild." They did that and they
exactly.
did the next Team Ico game they're funding, which is insane. Like I didn't think they were ever going to make another game after The Last Guardian, was it? They're funding that, so I'm excited about that because that's one of my favorite studios of all time. So if they can
Yeah,
get the funding they need to make another incredible game, like I'm all for it. But nowhere along the lines did they say, but you only can release on Epic for the rest of your life and nowhere
yeah,
else. I don't think they ever said that. Now maybe it might be exclusive to Epic for like a year, maybe or less
yeah,
or more, but they're gonna hit other platforms definitely. Um,
exactly. And that's why, like,
those are all on Steam. Horizon, Death
oh, Leo
Stranding.
talking about, yeah,
I don't think those games actually. Yeah, those are Steam. Those were on Steam, I think.
I think
Uh,
they're only available on Steam, aren't they? Like I can't go load up the Epic. I'm gonna load up the Epic Store right now. I don't think I can
they
buy
might
like
they
Days
might
Gone
be
on
on
Epic
Epic.
right now, can I?
It might be. I'm actually not sure about that.
I'm checking right now.
And I'm
But
like,
that's
I'm
the
like,
point though.
I'm not trying to
Yeah,
like defend Epic because
I'm not either.
I
I feel
don't
like
use
people are
it.
just wrong.
I only use them for the free games. But there's people who won't even go
Right.
that far. There's people who they don't want to associate with Epic at all. Everything they do is like, man, fuck Epic. I'm like, what? Come on, man. Like they're doing this for you, man. They're not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
Like they just want people on their platform. Like I understand it's like a stunt to get people onto their platform, of course, but like they're very pro consumer as far as I can tell, more so than a lot of other. I never have Epic Games launch installed on my PC, and never will I. That's fine. I just want to understand. I just want to understand that viewpoint
Yeah, me too.
because
Because like again, like launchers have been Epic's a bit bloated and intrusive, more bloated and intrusive than Uplay or the Rockstar launcher
the Rockstar
or
launcher sucks.
um yeah, or even now like Origin.
The Rockstar launcher is
Because right
worse
now
than
we have,
Epic.
yeah. And then not just that, but right now with EA making the transition from Origin to the EA app, there's still a lot of bugs with that. So you need to have both Origin and EA app installed right now to play all of your games.
Yeah.
So I would argue that's more bloated than what Epic's doing right now. And that's the point we've been trying to get to. And and that we being playing on PC, you're used to having multiple launchers. So what's one more, honestly? And Logic said, sorry, they're really not pro anything. Everything they do is to service themselves, not gamers or the industry. All right. So the Rockstar launcher isn't the same way, or Uplay,
Or
like,
Steam.
or Steam. You could argue that Steam, tries to do a lot to push the industry forward with the Steam Greenlight, which isn't a thing anymore. But
I think Steam has
right
a lot
now,
of.
like we look at if you look at it on paper right now, if you want to look at on paper side by side, Steam isn't developing any games right now. They're not publishing any games right now. But Epic is like, oh, here's a ton of games that we're publishing that would not have gotten made if we didn't fund it. We're offering a bigger cut than what Steam's offering. Logical Robot said, where would PC gaming be without Steam? Well, remember when Steam came out, everybody was pissed off
Oh,
about
come
it.
on. Yeah,
And
they
even people,
transform the. Okay, now you're being a
yeah,
little. You're being a little
yeah,
bad faith here, logical. Because, yeah, they transformed the platform like over 2 decades ago. Sure, I'll give them that. But what have they done since then?
yeah,
Like, now that there's actual competition, Like they've cemented themselves as like the foothold for PC gamers a long time ago, and now that they're like the spot, it's hard for anyone else to kind of make any movements to get a piece of that. Because Epic, I would argue that Epic's actually making more pro developer movements, more pro gamer movements. The stuff that Epic's doing right now is a lot more transformative than what Steam is doing right now.
Yeah. Again, like look at it side by side. If you look on paper, they're just offering a bigger
People
revenue cut to
people hated
devs, like,
Steam 20
right?
years ago. People
Yeah,
hated Steam when it came out, dude. They were like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, I gotta install this thing just to fucking play Counter Strike. This is bullshit. What the fuck is this? I need a CD key to
Half-Life
play
2.
Half Life." Yeah,
Half-Life 2 was like exclusive to Steam. It needed a Steam account to like run when that came out back in the day, and people were pissed off about it. People were really pissed off about it. I'd argue more pissed off about that than we are about Epic right now. And granted, like, Logic will say that they completely transformed the platform. Yeah, again, like what Sabi said, over 20 years they did it. And if the masses have had their way, we wouldn't have had Steam. We would have had another competitor, or we'd still be fucking buying install discs from Best Buy.
this was
Something
something entirely
entirely,
new for the time. It was,
yeah, and the
but
competition isn't like, like we've argued, like Steam has been the main launcher for everything for the past like 20 years. No one's tried to compete with them. I would argue every other Uplay, the Origin, I would argue they weren't trying to compete with Steam. They were just trying to get a cut of it by making their games. Even if you bought it on Steam, you still needed those launchers to launch them. Those
yeah,
other news stories have had years to build upon and improve, yet struggle to do so.
I think the
Well,
problem is that Steam is such a titan that it's hard to topple the titan.
yeah,
But I think Epic is finding a way. They're finding the stuff that they're finding the problems with Steam, not necessarily the problems, but the problems that like what do the developers hate about Steam? Oh, they're taking this amount of cut, and we're not making profits on our games because another thing I hear about Steam is like the discoverability, like that front page.
yeah,
Like however it recommends stuff to people is they consider it unfair a lot of times that their games are not getting recommended to people. That's another thing I hear like from developers about Steam. That I think Epic. I don't know if Epic. I don't know how discoverability is on Epic, but they're at least giving developers more of a cut. At least if there's not a lot of options on Epic anyway, so it's not. I don't think discoverability is a huge problem, but it's stuff like that where like Steam is like, well, Steam does it this way, and we don't like that, but Epic is going to do this for us, so it's a little better. Um, yeah,
yeah.
interesting. This is
I,
an
I,
interesting
I agree.
discussion.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting discussion. I'm in the camp that like more competition's good, and the stuff that Epic's doing to compete. Like you could argue, like yeah, they're trying to monopolize it by having these games come exclusively, but again, they're not doing it permanently. All the exclusives they have only been for like a year at the most. And they're publishing, like you said, they're publishing Remedy's next game, which I'm excited to check out because I fucking love Control. And anything that they're publishing that's getting made because they're funding it, I'm 100% behind it. So I mean, we'll see what happens with it, but I don't think Epic's this like end all be all like ruining PC gaming like everyone thinks it is. But whatever,
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents on it. Um
Logical says, I have issues with Steam too. May I add, much of the games they allow on the platform really do not belong, and they should tighten their quality practices. That's true. There's a lot of
yeah,
trash on Steam. Actually, if you go looking for it, there's a lot of trash on the consoles as well.
yeah,
Namely, Nintendo Switch has some of the
Oh
most
yeah.
rotten fucking garbage on it I've ever seen in my life, dude. Just straight up like
Same.
mobile ports. Like they don't even go through the effort to make like if it was like a landscape game or what was it when you like hold the phone up and down? That's portrait.
Yeah.
There's like straight up portrait games that you can play in landscape mode on the Switch. Like they didn't even go through the effort of like turning it. uh Nintendo and shovelware have gone hand in hand and stuff. um yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about or like ask people. Logical seems like the perfect candidate because you are the one who says that I will never install this Epic. Oh, get this trash out of my face. I don't know. I think it's interesting
Yeah. If
because
you
I
can
just
answer a quick question though, Logic, like I want to know, like I'm not trying to attack you or anything. I just want to know your opinion. You would never install Epic no matter what. But how do you feel about needing, again, like Uplay to launch a Ubisoft game that you bought on Steam, or the Rockstar launcher to launch a Rockstar game you bought on Steam? Are you the same boat? Like, oh, I just won't install that, just won't play the game I want to buy, or did you just suck it up and do it because that's the only way to play that game? And how is that different from what Epic's doing?
I don't think Epic makes you. I'm gonna launch Rocket League right now and see what it does.
No, they
I've
don't make
never.
you do it. They don't make you do it. But if I try to like load up Max Payne 3 right now, I know it'll still make me use the Rockstar launcher.
Oh yeah, some games are broken because of that, or
Yeah.
like old games. Like I
So
tried to play Hawks. I tried to play Tom Clancy's Hawks. And that game just does not work. You cannot play that
exactly.
game anymore.
Exactly. So like how is that different from like what Epic's doing? Like, how is that excusable? But Epic, like, hey, here's our game. They're exclusive for a year. If you buy it here, you'll need it. I actually use a workaround which to add non-Steam games to Steam Launcher, which doesn't require the base launcher to kick into play.
Interesting.
So interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
I
you
don't
do
know.
find a workaround for it. So you do find a workaround for it. I understand that like Epic's like the topic of discussion right now, but that's something that always bugged me is that, multiple launchers has always been something you've dealt with in PC gaming. The only difference that Epic like isn't forcing you to use their launcher. Like if I boot up, I just bought Neo 2, I booted it up. I didn't need an Epic launcher to play it. I used Steam to play it.
Yeah.
So
And I played instead of having to fumble with the Rockstar launcher myself, I played San Andreas through the Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is a terrible way to play that game, but I would rather do that than go through the Rockstar launcher.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like multiple launchers has always been something to deal with. Either you just suck it up and deal with it, or you do what Logical did and find a workaround to do it. But it's something we've always been dealing with. I would just argue that Epic is less intrusive about it. If you buy our game on Epic, you need Epic to launch. If you buy an Epic game on Steam, you'll need Steam to launch it. But whatever. That's just my 2 cents. Moving on, we can go back a little bit. We got Games with Gold for December. Escapist 2
Did you
is
did you did
available
you
for
talk about what
consoles.
you've been playing? You play
Oh,
anything?
I
I
did
don't know. I
not.
think we skipped
I
that.
did not talk about what I've been playing. Good point. So, still playing SMT5, still fucking phenomenal. I'm still playing that a lot. To be honest, I kind of burned myself out of it. I'm not completely done playing it, but I've dumped like 30 hours into it over the course of like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm just like, I need something to like recalibrate myself. So I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise a lot. Just looking up some new builds, just fucking around with it, having fun with different like gimmick builds I was playing around with. And with the Steam Autumn sale, I bought Fate, the Fate collection, which is an old school like dungeon crawling ARPG. I think like Torchlight, like a spiritual successor to Fate, but don't quote me on that. It's a game I played way back in the day, and it plays like shit, so I refunded that. Even though it was even though it was only like $10 for the whole series, I'm like, this still I'm not gonna play this past the first like 2 hours I put into it. So I refunded it and got Neo 2 instead. And I haven't played that yet. I'm probably gonna play it after the show, after I walk my dog. But I'm excited to try that out because I love Neo, and Neo 2 just looks like from what I've read is just more of that but better. So I can't wait for that to play that. And not really playing anything new, man. Just the same old shit. I do like what I'm playing, and I just want to try Neo 2. I'll have a actual description on that next week. But that's what I'm excited for. Steam item sales up, everybody, so go check it out. Neo 2 is like $35 for the complete
Yeah,
edition on Steam right now. So
I'm probably gonna
go
get
check it
that and
out.
play it.
I think there's some multiplayer components to it, like dungeons you can run with partners. So
That'd be dope.
if you check it out and we get to that point, that'd be cool to try. I'm still having issues with Game Pass, so that fucking it frustrates the hell out of me. This is one thing I really want to talk about. I still can't play the Halo Infinite beta. I was able to do a workaround by going to the Microsoft Store, pulling up my game library, launching it there, and it worked once. And I haven't been able to do it again since. The game, I get a load icon, and then it just stops. Nothing pops up, so I think it's crashing before it loads. I have updated my computer. I have done everything I need, and it's still just not running. I'm gonna call Microsoft tech support on Tuesday. That's the next day I'm off. To figure this shit out because it's driving me fucking crazy, dude.
I
And it's just
honestly,
Game Pass that's doing it.
I don't think there's anything they can do.
Well, it's not just Halo, dude. I thought it would just it's just a beta. It must be Halo. I tried to play I tried to play Back for Blood, and I get as far as the anti-cheat software loading screen. And then once that's done loading, it tells me there's an error and it can't run. And I try to play Pathriders, and same thing. I get the easy anti-cheat loading screen, and
Pathriders,
then once
huh?
it loads, yeah, is that what it's called, Pathriders or
No, it's
no
not. It's
Outriders?
don't.
Shit, I've been playing Mass Effect
Don't worry, that
Andromeda,
game is
and your
so
character's called
forgettable. So
Pathfinder. I've been playing Mass Effect Andromeda, and your character's called a Pathfinder, so I think that's where I got it mixed up. Um, but yeah,
Pathfinder.
so I try doing that, and I get the same problem. The anti-cheat software loads, and then it crashes. And I thought maybe it's just an issue with the anti-cheat software and my antivirus, so I disabled firewall protection just to try to boot it on both my installed antivirus software and with the Windows Defender, and still nothing. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just Game Pass. So I know the Master Chief Collection on Steam uses easy anti-cheat just like Outriders does and just like Back for Blood does. So I run that on Steam just to see if it's like a Game Pass issue, and it works just fine. So I
Hmm.
think something's up with Game Pass that's causing these issues. I don't know, but it's driving me fucking crazy.
Logical. You trying to get in on this call? You want to get in on this? You got a mic? If we can't make the show any more of a shit show, let's try to get more voices on it. No, I don't think there's
Yeah, that's
anything they
what
can
I'm
do
doing.
for you. You know what you should try? You should try upgrading to Windows 11. See if that does anything.
So I did that. I tried to
Oh,
do that,
oh,
and so I went through their whole PC health check. I had to download. I had to enable TPM 2.0, which, looking into it, is some sort of like security software. So I enabled that so I could do it, and it says my computer is viable for Windows 11, but they're telling me that they're going to be rolling it out in the next like year or so, and to keep just to wait until it's ready.
oh, logical used
so
to.
that's so that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm at my wit's end, dude.
Um, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I used to have those problems, but then I reinstalled Windows about 12 times, and it's fine now.
I either need to upgrade to Windows 11 or completely like reinstall Windows 10, but I don't have the fucking patience to like reinstall Windows 10 right now. So I'm just gonna wait till
Yeah.
Windows 11's available. It says I meet the minimum requirements. I basically see the stay put until they start rolling it out for my device. Is what they told me to do.
Okay, Leo's getting permabanned for talking shit about PC gaming. Dude, don't get me started on the consoles, okay? The consoles have problems as well. I mean, you want to look at all the crashes, the crash screens, the crash compilations for Cyberpunk. That's Cyberpunk though. I can't blame you on that one.
Also, if we talk about like what I can still play my game just fine. It's just Game Pass that's giving me issues. If you have
Yeah.
a PS4 or PS5, you can't even run Game Pass. So
Yeah. What do you have on PS5 for Game Pass, Leo?
yeah,
Nothing. Oh, okay. You got Uncharted 4 and 5. Oh yeah. Great.
exactly. Like that's the thing, dude. Like if we want to be serious here, like yeah, it takes some elbow grease when shit just doesn't want to work sometimes.
Wait, what was
But
the PlayStation? What do they call their thing? The collections. How are your collections doing, Leo? How much you paying for that? 29.99 a month. All right. Anyway, I am actually curious about those collections because they announced that shit and they've never spoke a word of it again.
I'm
No one's
curious
talking
too.
about
We'll
that
see what they
shit.
do with it. But but my thing is, Leo, I don't pay for shit. But no, like if this is the one issue I have, like I can't play a free game. I just need to call like get tech support in or upgrade my shit. But it's not a bad issue to have. You know what I mean? At
Yeah.
least I didn't drop like $60 on Cyberpunk physical day one, so I can't return it, and then realize it doesn't run on my shit, and there's nothing I can do.
Game Pass is a
Like,
big deal though. Like I would like because I would suggest people get into PC gaming just for Game Pass, not
yeah,
necessarily just for Game Pass, but there's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, you're better off getting like a Series S just for Game Pass. But
yeah, and that's my thing. Like, Game Pass runs fine on Xbox. It runs fine on most PCs too. I just having this weird issue for whatever reason. I'm
they've been
just it's just a me
improving a lot
issue.
of stuff. They've been
Yeah.
like enhancing and upgrading a lot of stuff, like with the Windows Store and I activated the Game Bar. Have you used the Game Bar at all?
No, I haven't.
A little tangent here. On Windows, they have it's called the Game Bar, where you just hit Windows G, or if you're using a controller, you just hit the little Xbox controller, and it gives you this overlay with little widgets on it. Dude,
Oh yeah, yeah, I have seen that.
this shit is
Yeah, I have seen that.
it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's incredible, dude. It's like it gives you all your like performance metrics and like it shows you like, hey, you're using 100% GPU right now. You might want to be careful. You can have your whole task managers in there, so you can like end tasks or see what's really eating up your resources. But then it also gives you you get all your like recording options too. So because sometimes I play stuff and I don't want to stream it, but like I'll do something. I'm like, oh god, I wish I was recording this because I just did some hype shit. It'll let you record like the last couple minutes, like right from the game bar, which is fucking awesome.
yeah, and it does work really well. And like it's this is one thing I'm having a problem with. You know, the Halo Infinite beta is on Steam, isn't it? Or am I making that up?
It is on Steam and it's
I'm
free.
gonna download it on Steam and see if like it is just Game Pass or if it's just the Halo Infinite beta that's giving me issues. I haven't tried that yet.
Well, you said it was Back
But
for Blood too,
so
but
Back for Blood is weird because I don't want to pay for it just to test it, especially if it's on Game Pass. But you know, I played the beta and the beta was on Steam and that ran just fine. It booted up just fine. So I think it's a Game Pass issue, but I don't know.
yeah.
Um, I'll have to look into it. I'm gonna try some more shit over the next couple days, and if I can't figure it out by Tuesday, I think I'll just call Microsoft and be like, "Yo, what can I do?"
Yeah,
They'll
and
probably just tell me
logical.
like reinstall Windows or wait till Windows 11 and upgrade to that.
Logical mentioned they're actually giving you access to the folders now. Microsoft
Yeah,
games. We talked about that last week. Actually, that's a very good thing for like modding. I know Skyrim's on there, and the version that's on there is not good at all for modding. So once you have access to the actual folders, that would be phenomenal.
oh yeah,
Are you playing anything
yeah. That's
else?
what I've been dealing with. No, that's what I've been dealing with. I
That's it.
spent a good couple hours yesterday like dealing with that, just looking at shit, up making sure my shit was upgraded or updated. It's been a pain in the ass, but that's all I've been dealing with. Um, Speaking of Microsoft, we got new games with gold for December 2021. Escapist 2 is going to be available for games with gold December 1st to the 31st. Tropical 5 Penultimate Edition will be available December 16th to January 15th. Orcs Must Die will be available between December 1st to December 15th. And Insanely Twisted Shadows Planet. I've never heard of that game.
I'm very familiar with that game. That was the first game I've ever bought on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Really?
Oh, thanks for the follow, Logic. Yeah, it's that game is it's a Metroidvania, but you're like in like a little like spaceship. It's hard to explain, but it's a Metroidvania, and you fly instead of like walk, basically.
I'm checking it out. It looks really cool.
It's
So
really
that's
cool.
cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's available right now if you
It
want to
has
check it out.
it has a
Everybody.
multiplayer mode too. It has like 4-player co-op modes
Oh
where
shit.
like you
So there
each
you
have
go.
like there's like a bomb that you each have to like carry and like take it through the like catacombs and shoot aliens and make sure the bomb doesn't explode. It's really cool.
That is really cool. I like that. I might check if I had if I had a Xbox Live and an Xbox, I would check it out. But
Yeah.
it looks cool. And moving on, we already hit most of the quickies. Harmonix
Slow
was
news
bought
week,
out by Epic.
guys. Slow news
Yeah,
week.
very
If
slow
there's
news week.
anything
Talked about.
that you think is relevant to talk about, we'll talk about it.
We talked about Epic's online services.
Yeah.
But Star Citizen reached $400 million funded. Right now, that
Insane.
$411, 609,000, $411,609,023 right
Their
now.
website doesn't work.
It is.
Oh, there it is.
My what?
I was saying their website wasn't working. Oh,
Oh,
they made another 11 million since this was announced.
yeah. This is insane. How long has Star Citizen been worked on? Since like 2009, right?
I don't even remember. I gave them money.
I think a lot of people gave them money.
Well, because like you have to buy a ship to your ship is basically your copy of the game. So I think are they still doing that? Like your ship, if your ship blows up, then you lose access to the game, and you have to buy a new ship. I think I don't know if they're still doing that, but I think that's what it was.
2012 is when the game was announced, when it was funded on Kickstarter. That is insane. Is Star Citizen, is that the space like you can be anything you want? You can be like a pirate or like a traveler, and they
Yeah,
added like gunplay too
yeah.
recently. Or am I
It's
thinking of another game?
basically they're making like The Sims, but in space,
I'm okay with
and
that.
it's like a first-person shooter.
I'm okay with
I
that. It
don't know.
looks great, but like I'll wait till it's like out before I start playing
When was
anything.
Last Guardian
Um,
announced? I'm pretty sure that game was announced before the PS3 even came out.
I think it was supposed to be a launch title for the PS3, wasn't it?
Uh, I don't think so. Maybe not a launch title, but like that game and like Final Fantasy 13, that whole thing exist in the same time frame for me.
Last Guardian was announced at E3 2009 and was planned to release 2011 for the PS3. So not a
God.
launch title. Pretty deep into the PS3's life cycle, but yeah.
Um, Logical brings up the
Yeah.
EA refunding refunds for Battlefield. I didn't hear about that. If they are doing that,
I didn't hear about that.
I would assume most people bought that game through Steam. And I
Yeah,
know Steam would probably most likely issue refunds. I don't know what EA's refund policy is, so it probably doesn't differ between Battlefield and whatever any of their other games are. Um, that's probably just their policy. So I would say it's your fault for buying the game through EA's platform and not Steam or whatever other platform you got it from.
yeah. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, Battlefield has just gotten so much like hate and for good reason. The game is broken as fuck, and it's apparently I never played Battlefield. I'm not a big Battlefield fan, but apparently it's missing a lot of features that were in past Battlefield games that I don't know about.
Well, it's also
Um,
busted. Like the servers are fucked up and
yeah,
lag and shit. People quitting matches.
yeah, it's a
It's
trip.
so about Halo Infinite. We're just gonna like you guys throw topics out. We'll talk about them because we don't have much left.
Very short, very
um,
short, slow
so
week.
the thing
Uh,
that people don't like about Halo Infinite, I don't think it's the microtransactions. I think it's mostly the progression system.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like Logical said, progression needs an entire overhaul. They fucked up the progression. They've got stuff in there that you can only unlock if you play every fucking day. And they release an event during Thanksgiving weekend. So there's a lot of people out there who are not going to be able to play on Thanksgiving unless you're like an asshole or or you just got, a lot of time in your hands, but um yeah, they
yeah,
released
and
an
that's the thing
event
that
that
people were complaining about. The oh, sorry, continue.
well, I think their like most recent event was it was like a 7 day event or something where you have to play every single day to get and do all the challenges and everything, max everything out, just to get a piece of armor. Not even like the full set of armor; it's a piece of armor that you have to like cumulatively get all the pieces through whatever like 6 months of events where you have to do absolutely everything. It's fucking insane. Now, for me, I'm not the kind of motherfucker who cares about that shit. Like, I just want to play the game. I don't care about all the cosmetic, stupid bullshit. I know there's people who care about that. Actually, there's probably an overwhelming amount of people who care about that. But for me, I'm like, hey, let's just have a fun team deathmatch, or let's just
Yeah,
have some
I'm the
capture
same
the
thing.
flag, and like, I don't care about. I'm still using the default character.
Yeah,
uh,
I don't really see the point in like really obsessing over cosmetics, especially since like I remember when Battlefront 2 was going through its shit, people were like, "Oh, it's disgusting that you have to do this much grinding to like unlock characters and stat increases. They should have just made it all cosmetic." And here's
yeah,
Halo making it all cosmetic, and people are still bitching. Um, I
yeah.
understand the logic. Like people have lives outside of their video games. They don't want to like feel the need to play every day and grind all this time to unlock everything.
Well, that's why they
But I
have
want
the
to
you can pay them to skip all that.
exactly. You can just pay to skip all of it, or just why do you care about unlocking everything? Like, why do you need every piece of armor, every
That's
single
that
little
goes back.
upgrade?
That goes back to like over. I think Overwatch fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah,
That was the original loot box. That was the original. Oh, look at all these skins. That's where it all started. At least in my head, that's where it started.
exactly. If the core game's there and like you don't have to pay money to make your character better or unlock perks to make the game easier, then I don't see the problem. I mean, granted, it's frustrating to have to grind that long to get this armor, but it's not going to affect me because
It's the it's
I
the
don't really care.
FOMO. It's the FOMO. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Logical. You probably have experience with this because you said your son had the Epic Games launcher. Kids get bullied in school if they're using like default skins in Fortnite. They'll get like bullied in school. Not bullied, but they'll get like made fun of. Like,
I get clowned on. Like I've
yeah,
seen it. At,
yeah, you get roasted for using default skins. So like, it's like culture now that you gotta it's drip or drown. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the drip, man. That's all it is.
exactly. So I think that that's part of what the problem is, especially with Halo. Like, because you could argue. I remember again when Battlefront 2 was doing the same shit. Everyone was like, "It wouldn't be so bad if it was all cosmetics," and now it is all cosmetics, and it's still bad. Logic replied, "Yeah, his son used to play Destiny 2, and the shit he got in school was unreal."
Yeah.
I can't imagine that, dude. Like Christ.
Different.
I play games to like relax and to like when I was a kid, I would play games after like a long day at school. Like, man, I don't want to think about school or like in the people I interact with. I just want to play games. I can't imagine like going to school and someone roasting me.
Yeah.
on a game I'm playing. Good Christ. God, that
It's
sounds
the
awful.
well, it's the equivalent of like it's like that. Well, I don't even know. Because it
What's
didn't
the
used to be
equivalent of
like
like,
that.
the clothes you were wearing, or like if you're the kid who like, oh, like look at that lunch that your parents packed you.
Yeah.
You know, it's the equivalent to that.
Why you still got a Spider-Man lunchbox? It's
Yeah.
all about Iron Man now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what's going on. Sure, you guys heard of the whole
Gallahorn.
Galahorn FOMO situation. What is Galahorn?
Gallahorn was in Destiny 1. Uh, it was like an OP fucking rocket launcher. And everyone who was serious about that game had it. If you didn't have
Oh,
it,
right. I remember that. Yeah, because it was like so broken that
yeah,
it was like the meta revolved around like having Galahorn in your inventory.
yep,
And I remember that. Yeah, people were like getting kicked out of like raids and stuff because they didn't have Galahorn and they were gonna like hold them back for finishing the raid efficiently. I do remember that. Yeah, which is funny to see. It's crazy like to see this kind of shit happening in video games. Leo said for him it was
Thunderlord.
Thunderlord.
See, I never got into when I played like games like Destiny or whatever. I don't like follow. I never follow the meta, dude. I just kind of just do what I want. I'm like, hey, I like this scout rifle. So that's what I'm gonna use. And then like I never try to get everything or max anything out. I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable here, so this is what I'm gonna do. Um, which probably makes me less effective, but I don't really care. I usually play solo anyway. I don't like teaming up with people because I like to get high and shit, and I slow everyone down.
Exactly. Like I sometimes you just want to like relax and not care about meta and just have fun.
Yeah,
So for me, not my thing, but I can see like, kids like if you're socializing with your friends because when you're young, relating to your peers is really important. And I could see kids like maybe playing a game they don't like or having to deal with crap they don't want to deal with just to feel like they need to fit in.
yeah.
That's a whole other problem. That's a
Resident
whole other.
Evil, Resident Evil 4 HD Project 1.0 is coming
Yes.
February 2nd, 2022.
Yes, those of you who don't know, because I talk about it all the time, Resident Evil 4 is hands down probably my favorite game of all time, if not one of my favorites. I love Resident Evil 4. I have bought it on so many different systems. I have bought Resident Evil 4 twice on PS2, once for the Wii, once on PS3, again on Switch, and I bought the Ultimate Edition on PC. I bought this game a lot and I played it a lot. I bought it on mobile way back in the day for iOS. Like I love this game. And when the Resident Evil 4 Ultimate Edition was released back in 2012, I want to say, which was like the definitive PC version, it had a lot of issues, specifically with textures. Um, Resident Evil 4 had a lot of pre-rendered textures, UI elements, background texture, stuff like that. And a lot of them were really shitty and they weren't really improved from what we got in the original PS2 GameCube release. So a bunch of fucking legends took it upon themselves to do what's called the Resident Evil 4 HD project to scale up or completely redo some of these textures. As you can see there, we see the Matilda model weapon. You have the original texture quality, the original HD texture quality mode, and the HD project, what that looks like, where they completely redid the model. There's a YouTube video out there showing what they did, and a lot of them are like going to like Spain and retaking pictures of like classic art to use those new photos as textures for the game. A lot of it's like redrawing the textures and using what it's based off of to redo it. It's amazing how much work has gone into this game. Honestly, Capcom should have done this when they released the Ultimate Edition in the first place. But I've been
Yeah.
following this for a while. This has been worked on since Ultimate Edition was released. and it's really really cool to see these textures get updated and to make it a proper HD high definition game. I'm definitely going to be playing this once it drops. I've been waiting for it to get finished. Uh, most of it has just been them. Most of it has just been them updating textures here and there, UI elements. So if you try to play it with what they had available, it was very confusing seeing some textures looked amazing, other textures looked shitty. So it's really cool that it's going to be done come February, and I cannot wait. I am definitely going to download that and play it, probably stream it because I fucking love this game. And any excuse I have to go back and play Resident Evil, like I will take it.
So did Capcom say, are they working on like an official remake or remaster or
Capcom's working on a remake right now.
okay.
They had announced they're working on a remake of Resident Evil 4. Nobody knows what it's going to play like, what it's going to look like.
That VR
It's probably
version
going to be
just
in the
came
same.
out.
Yeah, the VR version just came out, but they're remaking Resident Evil 4. Like the
Okay.
same way we got the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remake, they're doing the same thing for 4. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. But Resident Evil 4 is one of those games, dude, that like it's fantastic. I love Resident Evil 4. I can play this game all day. Capcom sent someone over to help these guys, didn't they? I don't think Capcom had anything to do with this. I know there was of Capcom getting involved with fan devs was Daymare 1998. That was supposed to be a Resident Evil 2 remake, fan remake of Resident Evil 2. But Capcom sent them a cease and desist. They were working on their own remake, and to kind of show some good faith, they invited the devs over to come look at what the Resident Evil 2 remake is so far, and then gave them like Unity and gave or not Unity, they gave them they gave them they bought them a license for Unity or Unreal and let them make their own game, and they retooled it to Daymare. But yeah, Capcom fucked up with the Ultimate Edition release on PC because it was an awful. The texture still looked really shitty, despite the models looking good. The texture still looked really shitty. So it's really cool to see these absolute legends put this together.
Hashtag fuck
Um,
Konami.
Fuck Konami, hashtag fuck Konami. Leo was mentioning how they delisted the MGS1 remake that fans were working on, which bummed me out a lot. And they didn't even offer to like do anything nice like Capcom did.
Shouts out to
But
Capcom,
yeah,
man, because they've had a very good couple of years.
they have.
They've
They
really
have.
turned around, especially on PC specifically. They've really turned
They have.
around their perception or their reception of their PC ports and all that stuff. But yeah,
It's it's funny you bring that up because like back in the day when I was still writing articles for Gameoverse.com, which you can I don't know if they're still archived. You can go to Gameoverse.com and see some. You can find links to all of our podcasts. I think the articles I wrote might still be up there. I was working on an article like shitting, basically just shitting on Capcom. um, I basically said loving Capcom is like being in an abusive relationship where you're constantly making excuses for them. And I was sick of it. But now, like they're doing so much good shit. It's hard to be mad at them because they're doing so much good stuff now. Like I feel like this is a redemption arc for Capcom, but we'll wait and see what happens.
yeah. Because I didn't put it
Leo
in
was saying
here.
when you focus on making good games and ports, the money will come in. While Konami grubbed after every penny, and everyone hates them now. Yeah, you're right. Fuck Konami.
I didn't put it in here, but they came out and like announced all the content that's going to be available for the PC release of Monster Hunter Rise, and they're saying it's going to be feature what's the word they use? It's going to sync with the Switch version by the end of February. So,
Oh wow.
yeah. So that's exciting. 'Cause
Oh,
I remember
that's really
when
cool.
Monster Hunter World came out, and we were like, "Guys, when we getting that DLC? When we getting this? When we getting that?"
Yeah,
Uh,
it took Iceborne like another like 9 months to come out after like consoles got it. But it
Yeah,
seems
it
like they're
was.
trying to line them up now with the PC version of Rise. And I played the demo on PC, and it looks great. Holy
Yeah,
shit, that game runs very well, very
fantastic.
smooth. Yeah, I almost want to rebuy it. To be honest, if I could like carry over my progress, I probably would be buying a PC version of it,
No
but I don't feel
crossplay.
like starting.
They
Yeah, there's no
confirm that right
crossplay,
here.
which is super shitty.
No crossplay, no
Um,
cross save.
yeah, it's really hard for me to justify dropping another 60 bones on that game
Yeah, but you can
when I've
play it with
already got it on.
Wasabi.
That's true. That is true. I can. If there's any game, I don't want to like toot my own horn here, but there's any game that I'm good at, it's probably Monster Hunter. Like, I'm not good at video games, I would say. I'm like probably advanced intermediate if I had to show my skill level. But Monster Hunter, I'm really fucking good at Monster Hunter.
You say that, then someone's gonna come in here and like, if you ever stream Monster Hunter, I'm sure there's gonna be someone coming in like, "Wow, dude, what the fuck are you using? You're using the Osamu weapon? That's you can't. That's that. No one uses that anymore. You gotta switch to the upgrade.
Probably. I don't
Shibari.
stream Monster. That's why I don't stream Monster Hunter. But I've done some shit where I'm like, I rewatch some replays. I'm like, wow, I'm actually like pretty good at this game.
To be
um,
fair, the Monster Hunter community, I've streamed some the 3DS one. I forget which one it was, but had some people jump in and help me out. So it was a good time. Monster Hunter community is pretty
Monster
nice.
Hunter community can be either awesome or fucking toxic. It all depends on who you're playing with.
Uh,
But you can say that about any community, really. Um, but yeah, anyway, Resident Evil 4 HD Project is actually releasing February 2nd, 2022. 2222.
yeah,
So mark your calendars. I'll probably like download that, and when is February 2nd? I'll probably stream it too because I love Resident Evil. February 2nd's on a Wednesday. I'll be working that day, so that Friday I'll probably end up streaming it. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel. Um, Sackboy's coming to Fall Guys. Honestly,
crazy.
can't say I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Not a crossover with Sackboy, but Fall Guy still being a thing. Uh, Jokes aside, like I was super into Fall Guys when it came out, dude. We were both like,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this is incredible. If they keep up with the content, we could get something really special, and they didn't.
I mean, they're drip feeding it.
It's
They got some new maps here. Well, we got the trailer a little later, but they got a couple new maps coming. Like, I don't know. My thing is that I don't want what's up, Caxis? Cax. I was gonna say cat piss, but that's can possibly be how you say that. What I was gonna say, like they've what I want the maps to be is not something that you could
like
get good at.
memorize.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want you to be able to memorize the maps. I want it to be just randomized every time. That way, no one has an advantage over anyone else. It just stays chaotic every time you play it. It's something new and different.
I
And
agree. I feel like
it
there's too many games that are like, if you played it a lot, like you know it, and it's really frustrating that like that magic for the first like hour we played it, we can't recreate it because if you know the meta to like get through some of these levels, like that's it. Like
yeah,
it's not fun anymore. Um, but that's why I think randomly generated maps would have been a much better way to handle it. Not completely,
Leo.
don't completely randomly generate it, but maybe like have some platforms spin in a different direction and have some different platforms
Yeah, I
that are
think they should be
available. There's got to
completely
be an
random.
algorithm.
I think it should be
You
completely
think so?
random. Yeah, like everything, and you get some weird puzzle. I mean, it should be completable at the very least, but I think you could just have some prefab pieces, just a bunch of pieces that you could randomly mix and match together, and just and make something that you couldn't memorize, or I don't know. Leo says, does any of them have any platform specific characters? I don't know if they're platform specific, but I know there's skins. I know there's a Half-Life skin you can play as like Gordon Freeman on PC. I don't know if those are exclusive though. You might be able to do that on like all of them.
Yeah, there's like a Gordon Freeman. There's a Half-Life crossover, Hotline Miami, Team Fortress, Enter the Gungeon, Portal, got Doom,
Yeah,
Among Us. I didn't know Super Monkey Ball had a crossover, and so did Kena, Bridge of Spirits. I didn't know that either.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crossovers with them.
Yeah, I think the game
But
still
yeah,
has its
like
audience. Someone told
yeah,
me the other day, a friend of mine, she was like, "Yeah, I'm still playing Fall Guys." I was like, "That's interesting."
like
uh,
really? Why?
I didn't want to roast her, but she mentioned it in the same breath as Uncharted, so I was like, okay, it's a video game, I guess.
Yeah,
Master Chief
I mean,
skins on
it was
Xbox.
that first hour we played it was fun as fuck. Like that was
Yeah,
some of the most fun I've had in a long time. But after that, you start to memorize the levels, start to understand like how to win, and it stops being fun after that. At least for me, it did.
yeah,
Um, yeah, hopefully, we'll be able to see some more changes with it and some more updates to make it fun again. But we'll see. I don't think it's quite that level that I'm going to get back into it, but they're trying to keep it going. Unfortunately, the iron's not hot anymore, so I don't know how much progress they're going to make with it and how much attention it's going to get, but we'll see.
yeah.
Now, we got Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon releasing December 13th,
Yeah,
which
so
I loves me some Pocket, some Shovel Knight, dude.
they showed this for the first time. I think it was like on a Nintendo thing, but
Yeah.
they didn't really say much about it. Oh, this site is broken. Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
it was really weird. It was like what was it? It was like a dungeon crawling puzzle game. Is kind of how they did it.
Yeah, like a real time puzzle game. Like
Yeah.
you can't look at it and immediately go, "Oh yeah, I've seen this game before." It's it's just another version of X game. No, this is like something completely unique and different. So
Which those
I've
guys at Yacht Club Games have made some pretty cool stuff, man. Like,
yeah
um, their King's Knight expansion or their King Knight expansion had a whole like card game built into it that was actually like really fun and has some actually really well thought out mechanics. Like, I was really impressed with it. Um, I'm at this point where anything Shovel Knight, I'm gonna take a look at it, but anything Yacht Club puts out, I'm gonna be paying attention to it too.
yeah.
They got some good game design sense there. I love me Yacht Club.
And I've gotten to the
And this
point
looks cool.
now where like I look at a game like this and I go, "Oh, this would be perfect on that Steam Deck." Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
now like looking at stuff specifically for Steam Deck gaming and
Same.
not at all in any other context. Like I would love to. I mean, Switch, sure, perfect on Switch, but like I don't want to play a video game on Nintendo Switch. Let's be honest. um,
I like
no,
my
I just like
Switch.
I already have like a huge library on Steam. I would just love to be able to
Yeah.
have that, you know,
Yeah,
in
I
the
hear you. I have
while
like
I'm just lying
rebought
in
games on
bed.
Switch just so I could have it portably that I
Yeah,
already owned on Steam. And it'll be really cool to when the Steam Deck does come out. That's what I'm looking at. Honestly, I'm looking at a Steam Deck over like a PS5 specifically for that reason. Oh, Logical was saying DMC5 on Steam Deck looks dope. It does. I
yeah,
saw it. It looks fucking incredible. Um, that's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. We're gonna see that. It's $20, releasing December 13th. I'm gonna be available for Switch and Steam. Apparently, there's a PS4 store page coming soon.
yeah.
But I'm into it. I'm into it,
And
dude.
no
I
one's
love.
pre-ordered a Steam Deck yet.
Yeah,
You can reserve it so that you can pre-order it when the pre-orders are available. So
yeah,
basically, I'm in line for one.
yeah. Next we got this. I've never heard of this. I feel like this is more your alley. We got the
Oh,
Analog Pocket. Start
you haven't
shipping in
heard of this?
December. I've never heard of this. What is an Analog Pocket?
So
Like
the
a what?
Analog
I know
Pocket
I know
is
it's a portable like gaming machine, but what makes that different from like every other like emulator that's out there?
it's not an emulator. That's the difference.
Wait, wait, what?
It's
What do you
not
mean?
It's not emulation. It's an actual. Okay, so here's the page here. Um, it's not an emulator. It plays your actual fucking cartridges. Um,
Oh
that's the
shit.
difference.
Okay.
It's FPGA. So what it means is it's okay, so people are gonna fucking roast me because I'm not familiar with all the exact hardware and terminology and the exact engineering of the stuff and how the shit works. But basically, it's hardware that I don't want to say emulation, but it's the actual hardware. It's hardware. God damn it! It's like it's I guess hardware emulation, but not software emulation. Is that am I the experts in the chat can roast me if that's in any way wrong. But basically the hardware in the thing it completely mimics the hardware of the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance depending on whatever you need. It's like completely programmable, so it's the stuff has existed already, but not never in like a portable form. Like they've got the NT Mega the Mega NT, which is like
Yeah.
their like Sega version. It's like a console where you put your actual cartridges in, but it
There was
runs.
that like
It's
there's that Super Nintendo, the Superboy, right? Was another thing that did something similar.
yeah.
Emulation for
Analog
Super.
has like a bunch of them. They've you go to their homepage, I guess. Yeah. So they got like a Super Nintendo one, they got a Genesis one, they've got like different ones. But this is the first one that's portable. So, and if you ever heard of like the Mister, like there's like Mister FPGA, it's all like program. I don't know how it works. Okay, you're asking the wrong guy. But all I can tell you is it's not emulation. Everything here is like as if it were the actual hardware. So you put your cartridges in, and they just work.
Really cool. And I'm reading this too, and it looks like it supports multiplayer. So you can have up to four pockets connected to each other to play multiplayer games, trade Pokemon and stuff. If you have like old hardware.
Yeah.
And it says it's hold on. There's something about music in here too.
It's got like its own like
Yeah, it's got a
sequencer.
synthesizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a
Soldier
pretty
Boy.
neat little gizmo.
Soldier Boy has nothing to do. He's not involved in this, sadly. Maybe they can work something out with Atari, the CEO of Atari, and get something going with Atari cartridges. But I don't think those would fit in here, so they would have to make some sort of attachment, I would assume. But yeah. So this thing, so it went up for pre-order like a long time ago. I want to say like last year, like the end of last year, maybe. It went up for pre-orders and sold out in minutes, maybe even seconds. um, so they're finally announcing that the pre-orders they're gonna start shipping on December 13th. Now I don't want one of these because it's kind of
I
more
don't have a
limited it's more limited in scope for in terms of what I'm looking for in a handheld console. Like I would like to have like a joystick, maybe two of them, a couple
yeah.
triggers. I think this only has like the one set. Like I want to
Yeah,
do like
plus
more higher end gaming, like N64
yeah.
is like where my nostalgia is mostly. But kind of like
Yeah,
that's where I want to
it's
go.
like PS1, PS2, I would love to like emulate portably. Like as
Yeah,
much shit as the Vita got, like having the PS1 classics like available to download and play on your Vita, fucking phenomenal. Like I can play all the Parasite Eve games on my Vita portably. Like fuck yeah. Like let's do that. And if I ever get like a portable emulation machine, it's gonna be like an emulation machine. Strictly to
yeah.
like play all kinds of games. This is cool. Don't get me wrong. I love this. There's definitely an audience for that. I don't even know where most of my original cartridges are, if I'm being honest.
So that's they're marketing it as that, but it has two programmable FPGAs in it. which
Ah,
you don't know what that is, but there's a lot of developer support. Can it's open source, I think. So anyone can go in there and kind of just say, hey, you know, all those emulators you have, we just pop in this SD card and download this update for the OS, and you can just load in your ROMs. They don't officially support that out the box, but
you can make it
traditionally
happen. Yeah,
traditionally with all their other consoles they've released, that's happened within a day or two. So
yeah. But this is
so
cool.
yeah, I'm excited to
Shipped
see
in December.
where I want people I want to see other people do stuff with this.
Me too.
I'm not gonna do anything with this, but
Yeah, same. This looks cool. It's shipping December 13th, so if you're into it, keep an eye open. Also, we talked about this earlier. The Steam Autumn Sale is live now, so go check it out. Neo 2, $35. I love me the first Neo. Can't wait to play Neo 2. Go check that out. That's my recommendation. Um, in terms of like trailers and stuff, we do have a couple cool things coming up that were talked about in the last couple weeks. Is there anything you want to recommend though for the Steam sale? Anything that you checked out?
um DJ Max I every time this game is on sale. Oh,
I
it's not
don't
on
think it
sale.
was on sale. Yeah, I was trying to find it because I knew like yeah, I saw that the Steam sale had started, but I didn't see DJ Maxx
Yeah, it
on
is not
sale.
on
So
sale. Well, nope, nothing. I got nothing. Outer Wilds, if you haven't played it yet.
oh, Resident Evil 3 is like $20 right now. So if you
Outer
want the Resident
Wilds
Evil
isn't
3
on sale
remake,
either. What the fuck kind of sale is this? Oh, it is on sale. Outer Wilds is $15 right now. If you've not played it, you're fucking up. There you go. It's been lower than that though, but um, Ghost Recon
oh my
Breakpoint.
god. Oh my god. So like I looked up Resident Evil 3 because that's on sale right now for like $18. So if you want to play that, go ahead. But like 6, 7 games down, there's like a Resident Evil 3 parody porn game called Lewd Apocalypse. And
Theme?
it's yeah, on Steam. It's straight up just like there's like a Nemesis knockoff and a Jill knockoff, and she's getting raped by the Nemesis knockoff.
All right, we're not gonna look at that on stream here.
Yeah, let's not look at that on stream, but that's there. So look at Resident Evil 3, go down like 6, 7 games, and you'll see it there. It's obvious supposed to be like
I never
it's
search for
probably not.
games. If I'm looking for something, it's gonna pop up like recommended before I even finish typing it. I never actually do the full search.
But yeah, that's something that came up, and I think that's really, really funny. It's just really funny that popped up, but it's so obviously supposed to be like a
Uh,
Resident Evil 3 parody.
Leo's asking about custom firmware for the Vita. Um, this happens to be a subject I know a lot about. Um, yeah, the Vita got blown apart completely. So you can buy a Vita off the shelf, and you can get it hacked the same day, and then
Oh yeah,
you can also pirate games straight from Sony's own servers. Like legitimately, remember like that's
yeah.
how busted the 3DS was back in the days, where you could just straight up download the games straight from Nintendo and then just play them.
I
You can do that
remember
on
that.
Vita. You can do that on Vita now. They've also reverse engineered a lot of Rockstar games. The entire GTA franchise is available like natively as like a native app on Vita, which is awesome. Did they get any further with emulation on the Vita? I don't think so. I think all of that is still in development. But
Vita was a great system, just nobody bought it. That's just a bummer.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
rip, rip PlayStation Vita. Um, but yeah, jokes aside, yeah, Steam Autumn Sale, go check it out. We got some trailers and videos to look at. Project L, we got a look at.
Have you seen this yet?
We got a, I this whole epilogue like breakdown of it. Yeah, I did see it.
Okay.
It looks pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like it looks really good.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, like so those of you who don't know, there was a those of you who remember what the fuck was that game called? Oh god, what was it? There's a hold on.
N64 is notoriously difficult to emulate. I don't think the Vita can do it. Um, I've got like Chinese handhelds here that still can't even really do N64. Certain games, some games are harder to run than others. Like Mario 64, Mario Kart, like anything can do that. But once you like take it like a one step up, I think is like Ocarina of Time. It's pretty difficult.
I'm gonna put something in the stream chat here. Who have you heard of Rising Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah, so years ago, Rising Thunder was a fighting game that was in development, and its big gimmick was that it didn't have inputs. You know, attacks were done with a single button. Specials were done with a single button on a cooldown, so you couldn't like spam them. And what's cool about it is that it was being developed by a couple fighting game aficionados, Seth Killian, who actually foresaw a lot of the competitive scene for Street Fighter back in the day, was overseeing it, and it was bought out by Riot with the idea of making a fighting game with it. So if you played Rising Thunder, you'll have an idea of what Project L is going to be, and I
That's
think that's
crazy.
really cool. Yeah, it's really
I
crazy.
forgot about all of that until you just mentioned it. I was like, oh
I
yeah.
Yeah, it came to mind when I was watching Project L. I was like, "Oh, this is the project they were working on using the Rising Thunder engine,"
Yeah, now it
and
all
it
that makes
looks,
sense.
yeah, yeah, and it looks incredible. This looks fucking incredible. I've mentioned this before on the show, but I love me some good fighting games. I'm not good at them at all by any means, but I love playing a good
So
fighting game.
is this going to be the game that finally gets you into Runeterra, League of Legends shit?
This might do it. My brother's been trying to get me to watch Arcane forever. He's the same way. He does not like League of Legends, but he swears by the show, dude. He tells me how great Arcane is,
Yeah, I've
and
actually
so I'm
got
probably gonna
that.
check that out.
I got that queued
Let
up
me,
to watch.
yeah, same. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out once I have time. And this looks really fun. There's this really funny video. Oh, I gotta find it, but it's this. There's a lot of. Have you ever heard of scrub quotes? You ever heard of
No.
scrub quotes? It's a like a Twitter account that basically just catalogs like stupid shit people scrubs basically say about fighting games. Just really bad takes, bad complaints on a fighting game. And there's a lot of them for Project L that are really funny. Um I gotta find this video, but I'll put it in the stream chat once I find it. But there's this video of this guy like breaking down some of these scrub quotes, and this the shit people have been saying about this are ridiculous. Like, oh, it's a 2v2 fighter. I can't wait to be infinite combo to death. Even though there's like no examples of really long combos going on in this gameplay review.
Okay,
But
add what Leo said here. Add that to the scrub quotes. He
I mean,
said,
fighting games, button mashing and luck when you think about it. It's absolutely not. I can't tell if that's a legit take or you're just saying that trigger me, but it is absolutely not. But this looks really cool.
this
I really
character
like
that they're
it.
showing is
Yes.
crazy. If every character
Yeah.
has like this level of complexity, I'm down with this.
Dude, same. I really like this. I really like the way this game's playing. I like the way this game looks. Um, I'm into it, dude. I'm super into it, and I can't wait to see this come out because it looks incredible, man. That's all I can say. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
So like Riot Games is they're another one like Epic who gets a lot of hate for what seems to me for no reason. Like they're another one that's like pushing they're pushing new stuff into the gaming world, uh supporting new developers, making for new ideas, but a lot of people just hate them for no reason.
when you have time, putting up a video right here.
Yeah.
It's it's basically like it's you don't have to watch the full 18 minutes, but this guy basically goes into some of the really stupid takes people have made about Project L just from seeing this like just the little limited gameplay we have. and just roasting them. It's really funny. Even if you're not a fighting game fan, you can hear some of the stupid shit. You can read some of the stupid quotes these people make, and it's like that's a dumb fucking take. Even if you're not a fighting game fan, you can understand that some of these takes are really fucking dumb.
Leo
And
said you could just put the controller on the floor and tap on it like a pedal, and you'd be 50-50. Which
I mean,
I will give, in all honesty, to be fair, I will give him that for like Tekken. I've seen people do that in Tekken. I had a friend who would do that in Tekken. He would turn his controller like upside down or some shit. He would hold the controller in a very weird way, but he would like win all the time. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
I mean that works lower level, but when you start getting to like really high level competitive play where the game like really starts,
Yeah,
oh, it's not going to get you very far. I mean, if
yeah.
you play with your friends who don't know what they're doing, then yeah, absolutely, button mashing could get you. It could beat arcade mode button mashing, but nobody. But that's not going to work when you play with other players that know what they're doing.
That was always a problem I had with fighting games is they don't like most of them will have like some sort of tutorial mode or something like to practice your moves, but none of them really tell you the the what am I looking for? Like the mind games that you have to like what should I be thinking about? Like what are the tech like when am I supposed to yeah, you taught me how to do a fireball, but when am I supposed to use that fireball? You taught me how to like do a shoryuken, but like when are the scenarios where I'm supposed to be using a shoryuken? Like how do I punish? How do I like do all this stuff? There's not many games that really teach you those concepts. And I think that's the barrier to
oh,
entry for most people.
so, so.
I know what you're
If
gonna
you
say
want a game that
here.
does that, there's a game that
I
you want to do.
I
There's
set
two
you up
games.
for this. Yeah.
There's two games that will do that. Skullgirls has a really good tutorial, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
teaches you a lot of fighting game concepts, stuff like poking, mix-ups, um, how certain mind games work. It's a really good tutorial that teaches a lot of that, while also teaching you fundamentals of like how to throw a fireball, how to what jump canceling looks like, stuff like that. And there's also them's fighting herds, believe it or not.
Oh,
The My Little Pony fighting game that was turned
yeah.
into its own thing actually has a very good tutorial, and it has a story mode very similar to the Mortal Kombat story modes. But they actually teach you things like like how to block projectiles correctly while still closing distance on someone who's spamming projectiles. By having bosses that do stuff like that to you, it teaches you like how to close distance when someone's spamming fireball at you. There's some story missions that teach you certain matchups and why certain matchups are better than others. It's actually really interesting the way it does it. Core Gaming, I think, did a video on it explaining them's fighting herd story mode and how it actually teaches you how to play fighting games. So if you want something that's gonna do that for you, check that out. Like it's really impressive how well the tutorial and the story mode both teach you how to play not just that game, but fighting game fundamentals in general.
Yeah,
And
I gotta check
that
that out because that
yeah.
that that was always the stuff that I would never understand. Um, and just nothing really like teaches you that. So you like know how to do all the moves, but you don't know why you're doing them or when you're supposed to do them.
Yeah, and this them's fighting herds definitely teaches it to you. I haven't bought it yet. I probably should because I've heard really good things about it. And from what I've been told, the story mode and the tutorial both teach you like actual good fundamentals if you've never played a fighting game before.
Right, check out them's
But yeah,
fighting
check that
hers.
out.
Probably
Yeah,
on
so check
sale
that
right
out.
now.
Yeah, check that out for sure. I'm trying to find the video where I heard it from. I thought Core Gaming did it, but I guess it might have been another like fighting game fundamentals YouTuber I was watching. I'll find it. Once I find it, I'll put it in the stream chat, but it's really cool. And Project L, if they could do something similar to that, because here's the thing: there's a lot of complaints about fighting games that don't have inputs, and I'm kind of on the fence with it because this game's not going to have inputs. It's going to be a one button inputs for special moves. So Shoryukens, Hadoukens, those specials aren't going to require like a quarter circle or an input to do it. It's going to be one button on a cooldown. And honestly, I'm okay with that. If that's what it takes to like get people into it, because it's cool doing the inputs, don't get me wrong, I love it. That's part of the fun, at least for me it is, doing the inputs. But if that's just a barrier, I don't understand what it's gonna do really, other than limit those who can do it, those who can't do it from enjoying the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just seems like an unnecessary barrier. I
I think
have more fun doing inputs, but I feel like it's an unnecessary barrier for people who don't play fighting games.
I thought Killer Instinct was a good middle ground. Like that was the last fighting game that I really got into, just because of how simple it was at the surface. But if once you really got deeper, it was a lot of there was a lot of complexity that was kind of hidden.
Oh yeah.
But
And that had inputs too, but they weren't like complicated inputs. So
yeah,
I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I like doing inputs. I think that's part of the fun is doing a combo and then canceling into a special, doing that input, timing it right. I think that's part of the fun to me. But if that's just a barrier that people can't get around, that really gets into what makes fighting games fun, I'm okay with it being this. I'm okay with it being removed for the sake of for the sake of getting more players in. I love the Power Rangers fighting game. It has a very similar take. It has a dedicated special button, and the direction you're pushing in determines the ability you use, kind of like Smash Brothers. And I like that game. I talk about how much I love that game all the time. Which, by the way, they just released a new season pass, and Ninja Adam, fucking phenomenal. Just so much fun to play at. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Point is, this looks like fun. It looks incredible. Is there a beta I can sign up for actually? Because I kind of want to check it out now. Or have they not
probably.
announced anything
It
yet?
looks really early for this game,
Yeah.
so still.
Yeah, it
But
looks good.
no.
And I played Rising Thunder when they were having when they had a beta the beta up for or the
Yeah.
alpha up for it. I played Rising Thunder and I liked it. So I feel like I'm gonna like this too, especially with these characters, man. Like that dude with the green sword. I don't know what his name is.
He
Some
looks
League of Legends
crazy.
players can. Yeah, he looks crazy. Some League of
Clearly,
Legends players
obviously,
can
the
like
most
count
fleshed
it.
out here.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah. The
they've
league.
developed the rest of these guys that much, but
Yeah, it looks really cool. But I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. Um,
Riot also funding a new game called Hightail, which looks like it's made by a bunch of Minecraft modders. Studio High Pixel, I think is what they're called. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of Minecraft modders who are like, hey, we like modding this game, but it doesn't really facilitate that easily. So what if we made a Minecraft that was moddable, but easier to mod? That's what this is. That's what it looks like.
this looks crazy. Like
Yeah.
I kind of fast forward through it, looking at some of the combat, and I was expecting like Minecraft, like wave my sword combat. But this chick was like dashing with like two daggers and like doing a little mini combo.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they've got like it looks like a slightly more fleshed out combat system too.
which I'm okay with. Like I love that. This looks cool. This
Yeah.
looks really cool. Jesus, I didn't know they were working on this. What does this have to do with the is this actually attached to Runeterra? That's the name of the
No,
world
I don't
from
think so. I don't think so. It's just um Riot is funding this, so I think that's it.
This looks
They're-
cool. That PvP with that dude with the hammer and the dude with the daggers looks like it looks really cool.
yeah,
Like I'm into this. I would play this. God
yeah.
damn.
That was always my
This looks
problem with Minecraft is that there was a lot of emphasis on the craft part of it and the mine part of it, but it has like combat, but it's not super well fleshed out. Um, and it has exploration, but and then it has like it's moddable, But you see, this guy makes like a zombie thing with some guns, and it's like that's really cool.
Leo was asking, are fighting games competitively played on console or PC or both? Depends on the game. I think PlayStation is like the main system it's played on, but obviously, like if it's a console or PC exclusive, that'll be the available meta. Like Killer Instinct was played exclusively on Xbox. That's all it was available for. So that's what was played at competitions.
Yeah,
But most fighting games now have like crossplay support, so you can play ranked matches with any system right now. Um, but I think in the competitive space, if you're talking about like Evo, I think Evo plays exclusively on PS4 unless they can't.
I think they're on
But I might be
console just for like sponsorship purposes. Or
yeah. Like I think Sony is like has a stake in Evo, so like all their games are played on PlayStation
they bought
unless
Evo.
yeah,
They have more than a
unless
stake in it. They own it now.
yeah. So that's what I mean. Like they're all played on PlayStation unless it's a console exclusive. Um, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, both.
Yeah. Anyway, Hightail.
Yeah,
Looks
Hytale looks
good.
incredible.
I don't think
Looks
there's any.
incredible.
I don't think there's any date or information on it. Just it's happening. So looks cool though.
Even the little animations, like I saw them like running around at towards the end of the trailer, and this chick like ledge grabbed and like climbed up the ledge. Like, like you see that? Like that's
Yeah.
cool. Like, I want to know like how engaged this game really gets because like I liked Minecraft, but again, like the craft part of it was too much the focus that the
Yeah.
actual game behind it I couldn't really get into. I do like Minecraft. I boot it up every once in a while and play through it, but the combat that it has kind of holds it back a little bit. It looks like Hytale's enhancing on that. I'm
Yeah.
into it. Next trailer we got is DNF Duel. A lot of fighting
Uh.
games today.
Yeah, another fighting game. This one is based on the Dungeon Fighter franchise, but it's being made by Arxis.
Yep, the same guy, the Guilty Gear guys, the Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Fighters guys. And honestly, they make good shit. Like this looks cool. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
That monk chick looks a lot like Jam Quadberry from Guilty Gear.
Okay.
Like a lot like Jam Quadberry from Guilty Gear, but she doesn't look like she plays like her, so I'm okay with it. Um,
Take your word on that.
I mean, just Google Jam Cloudberry, and you'll see like they look really similar. But point is, this looks really cool. I like the way it plays. Anything Arc System Works puts out, like I'm into it.
Yeah. I don't know
It looks
shit
like a
about
lot of
Dungeon
fun.
Fighter, but this looks dope.
I don't either. I actually I heard of it, back in the day, being on like Newgrounds or just looking at random emulator sites back in the day when I was a little chitlin.
That's
I
way
would
back in
see
the
ads.
day. You know they have an
Yeah, oh yeah,
actual game now.
yeah. I remember seeing like ads and bumpers for Dungeon Fighter Online. I just never paid attention to it. I was like, oh, it's probably some like garbage free to play game that's gonna give me a virus or something.
Not wrong.
So yes, but seeing this and looking at Dungeon Fighter Online, I looked into it. Holy shit, Dungeon Fighter Online looks like fun. It looks like a lot of fun. It's like it was made for me. It's
It's
a
supposed to look
action
like
art.
fun. The problem is it's a Nexon game, which they have some of the most egregious fucking pay to win bullshit. I don't know if
And
they
that
still do. I don't know if they
and
still
that's
do.
what kept me from looking into it because I looked up the gameplay and I'm like, oh, this is like a dungeon crawling action RPG with beat 'em up and fighting game elements where I could actually do inputs for my moves and it lowers the cooldown time and costs less MP to use them. I'm
Yeah.
into it. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, these microtransactions are bad.
They've notoriously been like the worst bullshit. Like their shit was always like, "Hey, pay us $30 to have this for 30 days," and you're like, "Oh, what?" So if I'm not playing the game every day, it's a waste of my money.
Yeah, and that's what kept me from like looking into it because I saw this and it made me look up Dungeon Fighter. I'm like, it's like this game was made for me. And then I saw like the Steam reviews on it talking about the microtransactions. I'm like, ah, never mind.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because it looks like the game was made for me. Um, But DNF Duel looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And those of you who don't know, this isn't the first time that Arc System Works did something like this. They did a Grand Blue Fantasy, the Grand Blue Fantasy fighting game, a little while, like a year or two ago, and that was based on a mobile game. So, not the first time they took an unexpected IP and made it into like a fighting game, like a competitive 2D fighting game. But this looks dope. I can't wait to see this come out and to see what separates this from like the other Arxis fighting games. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on, we got Dragon Ball: The Breakers, which we talked about last week.
Yeah. This video, they're going in depth about how it actually works, and it's basically what we already knew. It's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Basically, I think the most interesting thing about this is that they refer to what do they call them? Because they don't just say Cell, they call him the Raider.
Yeah.
They never
So
say Cell.
Yeah. So that kind of makes me think like, maybe because
There'll
they
be
refer
other,
to them, there'll be other Raiders. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
which would be interesting.
Because like, this
But
isn't the first time we had seen like a DBZ villain like just wreak havoc on innocent people. They don't just all sit back and wait to like fight Goku.
yeah,
When the Saiyans came down for that first arc, there was a whole like episode of just Vegeta and Nappa just fucking up a city.
yeah.
I remember a scene where like he grabs like a jet and like rips it apart. Like and Majin Buu went on his thing and like started turning people into chocolates and eating them. So
Yeah,
that would be cool to see if we got to see more Raiders for
yeah.
this. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here. Like the concept already is incredible. Like I love the concept already with Cell. But like you brought up, referring to it as a Raider and not as Cell, that's got my imagination like swirling for like other things they can do. Um, but this looks cool. They break down a lot, like how the game works, like what you need to win, what each character is capable of. It's really cool. If you got time, it's 11 minutes, but it's basically Dead by Daylight or like the Friday the 13th game. Just survive and escape, work together to do it. Like this looks really cool. I can't wait till this comes out because I'm definitely gonna try this, dude. Leo says would be strange to start halfway through the series with Cell. You're not wrong, but I
Um,
feel like the
well,
Cell
I don't think there's gonna be like any story mode. Like the way Dead by Daylight works is you just pick a survivor and then you just throw them into a random scenario, random player monster. So
Yeah, I just think they picked Cell because like he works so well with like what we did see in the story.
yeah,
Like I can't wait till this comes out, dude. It looks really cool. Like again, I could have lived like a million years. I would have never thought of this concept before. This looks cool. And if you show it off, it looks like you start out with all the Cell evolutions. Like you start out with a little bug thing when he first came out of his egg, and then imperfect Cell, all the way up to perfect Cell. So that looks really cool. I like the way that they're implementing that in, which also leaves more credence to that if there's more Raiders, how would they do that?
well, like what's his face? Like Boo had forms too. Well, he had like two forms.
Oh, there was like three, right? There was like when he was fat, then like skinny, and then like a skinny kid.
Oh yeah, Kid Boo. Yeah. I don't know.
But
Well, you could
this
like increase in power level, you know, if you're Vegeta at least. You, like go like Super Saiyan or I don't know. They'll find a way. They've been very creative so far. I don't think it's gonna stop.
Yeah, they have been really creative so far. I don't think it's gonna. They're gonna just.
They'll probably whip someone out who we're not even thinking about, like someone from
Yeah,
like
for sure. I mean, the Android saga alone would be really cool to see.
yeah,
Maybe have different androids, or like you start out with one android and you can have more helping you out as you progress. I don't know. There's a ton of ways to do it, and I can't wait to see. We're already getting ahead of ourselves here. Um,
Yeah.
the game's not even out yet, and we're already like, oh, what about this? What about that? But this looks cool. Like, this is a really cool concept. I was already sold on the concept when they showed the trailer off. And the trailer that they're doing right now the trailer they're doing right now just basically reinforces what I already felt about this. And I cannot wait to see this come out. I really want to check this out. I like it. I like it a lot, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I like it.
Yeah.
All
Dead
right,
Cells.
moving. Yeah, Dead Cells. Everyone is here. We got a new gameplay trailer for this new Dead Cells. Is this a free expansion? I don't know,
It's a
but you
free
can.
expansion. It's already out. And basically, it just adds weapons and items and abilities from a bunch of other different games, such as Hollow Knight and Skull, and what were the other ones?
Guacamelee, Blasphemous,
Guacamelee.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really cool. I like it a lot. I like Dead Cells when it came out. I need to get back into it. I never finished it, even though I really, really liked it. And adding all these other cool games to it, it's another like awesome thing to see. And it's free. Like, that's awesome. That's so cool to see that happening. I like this. I can't wait to I should re-download Dead Cells and then play it because this is
Yeah.
really cool.
I load it up every
Uh
once in a while just to get a couple runs in. Super
yeah.
fun.
It's been a minute, so I might do it too. Then we got Hitman 3, year two announcement. They just announced their new roadmap of content for Hitman 3. I need to get into Hitman, dude. Like, it looks like a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. Basically,
Looks
what they're
like,
announcing here is the
yeah.
PC version is going to be getting the VR mode that was only on the PlayStation version. It's coming to PC now, which I heard a lot of good things about that mode. It sounds like the best VR like first person shooting experience that you can do, like as a full game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it too, and it looks really cool. Um, I just need to fucking pick it up. Can I just play Hitman 3 or do I need to play the first two Hitman games?
The 3 includes the first 2 games.
You're right. I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, like remastered.
I remember
So
we talked about that. So
I
yeah, I can just straight up just buy Hitman 3 and
I
just get
think
the
that's
whole.
what it was. You might have to own those 2 games actually. I think you have to own those for it to play them in 3, but they're in 3, so. But the first one was on like either the first one or second one is like on Epic. They gave that away for free at some point.
Oh, I do need 1 and 2 to access those files that are in
Yeah,
Hitman.
yeah. But I don't know. I think the first game was free on Epic at some point, so people should have that if you took advantage of that.
Yeah, so that'll be cool to check out. This looks good. I need to hurry up and play Hitman now. This looks cool.
Yeah,
Uh, Next we got Fall Guys Season 6 gameplay trailer.
yeah.
I mean, it looks like there's more levels there, which is cool. So I haven't played it since like launch. So this might be cool to look into, a way to get back into it, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be good every once in a while, like just to check
Yeah, it
out the
might
new
be.
stuff, but I don't know. I didn't play this game nearly as much as I thought I would before it
Yeah,
came
same.
out. I was super excited for the whole
Dude,
concepts.
same. But I mean, there you go. If you're already playing Fall Guys, there's some more content for it to get into. Um, Looking into game releases now. We have November 30th, Tuesday. We have Beyond a Steel Sky coming out. I'd never heard of this game until I saw this trailer, and it looks cool. It's like it's an adventure game. I'd never heard of it until this, and the trailer makes it look really cool. It's really stylish. It's got a really unique, like sci-fi steampunk world. Not really steampunk, but like not cyberpunk either, like in between for those. But it looks cool. It looks really cool from what I was seeing in the trailer here. That's set to come out on PS4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, November 30th. So go check that out once that releases. We also got Evil Genius 2 World Domination, also releasing November 30th. The Evil Genius games are like a what would you call that? Like a city builder, like base builder game?
They usually call these like simulation,
Yeah.
but like that term is so broad now that it doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah, it kind
Uh,
of reminds me of like, oh God, like dungeon, kind of like Dungeon Keeper,
yeah,
or like, oh God, what is that? Theme Hospital, General Hospital, is that what those games are called?
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, where you're basically like running like an evil genius empire.
I've never been into these games,
Me
so
neither. Me neither. But this looks cool. It's a pretty cool concept. Where you're the bad guy in a spy thriller. You can hire different henchmen to like whip your henchmen into shape. Like it looks cool. It's a cool idea. Not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna shit on it. It looks pretty cool. Now we also have I'm gonna fuck this name up. Dairoku, Agents of the Sakuratani. It's made by Automate. I don't know who Automate is. And honestly, the trailer here doesn't really show off too much about the game either. It's made by Axis. Not Arc System Works, but Axis, who make a lot of visual novels, I think is their big thing. So this
I'm
looks like
seeing.
it'll be another visual novel. I have the links in the show notes.
Oh, yeah, I like to go to the page. You got the page on there.
No, just the trailers.
I like to go to the store page. I need to know how much it costs.
That's true.
$50.
But no, it's yeah, and it looks like a visual novel. Is it a visual novel? I think it's a visual novel. It's got to be a visual novel.
Oh, so look at this quality.
But yeah, it looks interesting. Not my cup of tea. I'm not a big visual novel guy, but I can see the appeal here. It seems to be like my go-to.
Somebody's gonna like this.
Yeah, someone's gonna like this. It's not me, but I'm gonna like it. Then we got Solar Ash, also
Yes.
releasing December 2nd. Now, those of you who don't know, this is made by the Hyperlight Drifter guys.
Yeah.
And this looks cool as fuck. This looks
Epic
really cool.
exclusive, I do believe, on
Yep.
PC.
But it is also releasing for a PS5 and PS4.
Yeah. This is a different game. This is a different game for them.
Yeah,
Um, I read about how they kind of had to step out of their comfort zone to make this, and I'm not gonna lie, it's out of my comfort zone too. I don't know if I loved Hyperlight Drifter. As Leo also said in the chat there, absolutely adore that game. This is different though. This is different.
very different. It kind of
So
reminds me of like Journey,
yeah,
but with more engaging like platforming elements,
yeah,
with like platform challenges and stuff, which looks cool. I'm still not entirely sure what it's going to have included, but it looks like fun. It looks
yeah,
really cool. And I liked Hyper Light Drift. I gotta go back and finish it. I played it when it was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is on Game Pass, but I'll have to double check. And I liked it. I just gotta go. I just need to finish it. I'll finish it one day. But this looks really cool. I really like what I'm looking at here, and I'll be checking this out once that releases December 2nd. And December 3rd, we got Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain, releasing on the Nintendo Switch. I thought this was like Brain Age, but I guess it's not. It's a different developer, totally different game. But it reminds me so much of Brain Age, dude. It's crazy. But basically, it's like a puzzle game Well, it's a game with a bunch of brain teasers and puzzles into it, and it has up to 4-player party modes you can play. There's 2-player head-to-head challenges you can play. This is all set to release on the Switch December 3rd. Again, not my cup of tea,
$30.
but yeah, but $30. I mean, it's not expensive. I mean, Mario Party's like 60. Granted, this doesn't have the same production value as Mario Party, so forget what I just said. But now, if you want like a party game for your family,
This bitch is
something that's
not
gonna
60. I don't want to call this chick a bitch. I'm sorry. But you were not 16. Or maybe she is. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing her.
she looks 16.
She looks 16. I'm sorry.
But no, this looks cool though. Like jokes aside, like if you're looking for a fun educational game, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
What did I miss?
Nothing. We can continue. She does not
Okay.
look 16, dude. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Point is, I don't care. Point is, the game looks interesting. Again, not my cup of tea, not my thing. But if you're looking for a party game you can play with your family, that maybe slightly educational, have them work their brain out a little bit, especially during summer vacation, man. Like all that shit you learned in school that just goes right out the window during summer vacation. This will be something cool to kind of keep their brain flowing so they're ready for the next school year. This looks good, inoffensive. $30.
You were defending this game hard, man.
It's
It looks all
$30,
right.
man.
It looks
What do
all
you?
right.
Yeah, it's $30. What's the problem? Like,
Nothing.
there's worse games out there you can buy.
I'm not going to try to justify what purpose it serves in the educational.
I wouldn't say I'm justifying it. More just like I'm trying to look at this in the perspective of someone who would buy it, and based on that perspective, yeah, I can see this being an appealing buy. Um, yeah, so on Switch December 2nd or December 3rd. We also have Chorus coming out for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and Stadia.
Is this the game that they showed on the Xbox? Remember the Xbox was coming out? Is
Yeah,
this
I
that
think
game?
so. It's supposed to be. I have watched this latest trailer a couple times, and it's just like a story trailer. But it looks like a dog fighting game in space. But it actually has like some customization, RPG elements, like improve your ship. It's got a really cool story about a fugitive getting revenge and trying to get away from her haunted past. I mean, there's not a lot of like games that strictly focus on like dogfighting. So
The Deep Silver joint.
yeah, it's a Deep Silver game. So this looks like it might be pretty cool. I
Forty
still don't know
dollars.
enough about it. Yeah, it's only $40. I still don't know enough about it to like really get into it.
You could probably do better with like Everspace.
You think so?
I think Everspace is looks a lot like this. That game's more of like a space, like an outer space, like dogfighting roguelike and like looter shooter almost.
Oh, that might be
This
fun.
this seems more story focused.
Yeah. I mean, that looks interesting. It's set to drop December 3rd. So, if you're into it, add it to your wish list. We also got Danganronpa Decadence coming out on the Switch December 3rd. There's so many Danganronpa games, man. I want to get into them, but I don't know where to start. There's so
Just play the
many.
first one. That's it.
Play
That's
the
all you
first
need.
one. All right.
I think Decadence is a I think it's just a compilation. They don't even have a page for it on the Switch Nintendo store.
Yeah, I don't really know about this. Like,
I think it's just a compilation on the Switch. Um this game started on the PSP.
I
So
remember.
a lot of it's old.
I don't know if you're watching, but towards like the end of it, like the last like minute, after the first minute, there's like a weird like trailer for like a board game. with like RPG elements. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. It's like Danganronpa S, like Ultimate Summer Camp. It's like a
Yeah,
beach
it's a
episode
spin-off.
mixed with, yeah. Is that included with the
Yeah,
Decadence?
yeah. It's I think the third game was a mini game, and now they've made it into a full game.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. So this is a little weird, but it's had to come out for Danganronpa's 10th anniversary. I cannot believe these games have been around for 10 years already. I feel like they
Yeah,
just came out.
just play the
Uh,
first one.
yeah, I'll look at it. They're all on Steam now, so it's not like I can't find it anywhere. And then last but not least, or maybe least, we got Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition.
Yes.
What can I say? It looks like Animal Crossing in Disneyland, which saying those words together are probably getting a lot of people excited. So
Game of the
I'm
year.
not one of those people. Those of you who don't know, this did come out on the 3DS, like
I was
what,
gonna
2 years
say
ago?
this looks subpar. How much are they charging for this?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Find out.
This was a 3DS game, and they are promising that this Enchanted Edition is going to come with all the extra content that was released as DLC for the 3DS game. But if it's $60 though,
$50.
all right, 50. Okay, so that's a little bit better of an asking price. There's a lot of
I like
content to
the only
add.
recommendation after this video plays is Peppa Pig.
Yeah. Did you see that meme of like
The
Peppa
ratings.
Pig? Yeah, having like a 70% on like
Yeah.
Metacritic right now, and so people are posting it side by side with like Call of Duty Vanguard or like Battlefield. Just so Peppa Pig's a better game than both of those. I love that. That's really fun. That's one of my favorite new memes. But jokes aside, like this looks really. I don't want to say looks good. It's not my thing, dude. I sound like a broken record the way I keep repeating myself to every one of these games, but this game was obviously not made for me.
Yeah, clearly. Made for
I am
little
not.
girls.
Yeah, I'm not a kid or a Disney adult, so it's obviously not made for me. This is
Why is this the
something
only
that's.
recommend? I've never seen this happen. I've never seen like a single recommendation.
I think a part of it is how the game's categorized, because if you scroll down, it's talking about like YouTube Kids. So I
Oh,
think because this is like a kid
okay.
friendly thing, it's lumped in the kid category and the gaming category, and the only one that hits
Yeah.
both of those might be just be Peppa Pig.
Um,
If you even scroll down, comments are even off. Like you can't even look up comments because it's
yeah.
gated as like a kid game, so you can't read the comments. Um,
Funny.
but yeah, that's definitely why you're not seeing anything else being recommended. That's the only thing that fits those two categories. Um, but yeah, again, this isn't made for me. I'm not the audience for this. I can't attribute if this is worth your money or not. I guess you can make that decision. But if you're listening to this podcast, chances are this probably isn't the game for you either. Let's be honest here. Um, and that'll do it for the show, man.
Yeah.
It was a good show. Again, not too much to go talk about. We had a lot of fan feedback, so thank you, Leo and Logical Robot for being in the chat there. Keeping this fresh, keeping this exciting. This is why we do this. We do this live every week, so check back in next week. You can have some more hot takes from two guys who play too many video games. But in the meantime, like Wasabi, tell the people where they can find us, man.
You can go to gameverse.com. Gameverse.com/Twitch. Hold on, I'm getting sounds from something. There it is.
I am
Okay.
hearing that. It's like a plane. What's going on?
The chorus trailer. Um, you can go to gameverse.com, gameverse.com/Twitch, gameverse.com/YouTube, gameverse.com/Discord, gameverse.com/Extra Life, which is still going on until the end of the year, guys. Make a donation; it'll make a lot of kids happy. Yeah, video games. They happen whether you like it or not. So,
Chances are, if you're listening to this podcast, you like it though. So,
yeah, this was an interesting show. We had a lot of discussion, a lot of good discussion too. So,
a lot of good discussion. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you again, Leo and Logical Robot, for being there. This was fun. We'll be back same time next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, thanks.